Welcome to the Journey 2020. I'm Charles Morris. Been having some technical difficulties here. This is the Journey 2020 where we come to you every Monday. I upgraded some software about a week ago, and the software that I use. And ever since I did this upgrade, I've had nothing but problems. And they've done 2 upgrades since the upgrade. So I'm thinking they had fixed the problem. They did an upgrade today, but evidently they didn't fix the problem. So I'm going to have to contact the people because I paid good money for this software. But anyway, this is the Journey 2020 where we come to you every Monday at 7 p.m. right here at www.thejourney2020.com. And, on the fourth Monday of every month, we have a very special guest who come in and enlighten us. And, and you can feel his spirit and his passion because of what he does. And that is the one and the only. And, I feel pretty bad for the brother because, I've been doing a summit now for going on maybe 17, 18 years. And when you do this summit, man, it takes so much out of you, and because of all the things that you have to do. And then I know for myself, because you're on this high. And then when the summit's over, it's like you can't really like sleep that same day, but you're still kind of wired and da-da-da. So I like to go fishing and take like 3 or 4 days off. So when I called him today, and then he called me, he said, I'm just getting up, blah, blah, blah. So I understand that. So first of all, I want to say welcome to the show, brother. How you doing?
I'm fine. Good
Yeah,
evening. Good evening.
I want to say congratulations to you because you put on an excellent conference this past week, and I am happy to say that I've been around and I know good conferences when I see them, and you did a great job. And I want to definitely say that your hard work paid off. With,
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
Oh, by the way, thank you for for my award. So and the funny thing, he saw me trying to ease out the door. Now, when I was like,
Yeah, I saw you. No, but well deserving, man. You can get award every year, but I said I don't want to pass this year up because you don't know what the future holds. So
right.
I said I just want to show our appreciation for all the support.
Well, words are easy, but I know what you do, and because I'm so happy that what God gave you, that you use it. And that's all I need, because I know what you do and I know the difference that you're making in the world. So that's all that I need to know. So I'm good, bro. So without that being said, we have to tell the people, like I tell you every time I come on the show, you have to tell us who you are and what Young Fathers of Central Florida is. So if you can kind of like give us a quick overview so we can get to this conference, you got to tell us a real quick overview of Young Fathers of Central Florida.
Young Fathers of Central Florida is a nonprofit 501c3 started in 2006 here in Orlando, Florida, but we service fatherhood organization across the country. We provide 9 programs. We provide a dad-to-dad mentoring program where we match an older father with a younger father for a 1-year commitment. We provide father support groups. We provide parent training where we allow mothers, fathers, grandparents, who's ever in that child's life and come in contact with that child's life. We invite them to the trainings. We have a prevention program, Just the Gentleman, which is for 10 to 13-year-old boys. We hope to prevent them from becoming fathers before they are comfortable with being a father. We don't want them to be 12, 13-year-old fathers. So that's a prevention program. We have our City of Orlando and Orange County Recreation Center Fatherhood Initiative, where we work with fathers throughout the county and the city. We have our Orange County Correction, That's a service where we provide fatherhood training to juveniles in the correctional system. We have our Fatherhood Institute, which is at the college level. We started that program at Bethune-Cookman University. So that's our Young Father Initiative with college students. We have our Fatherhood Initiative that we just started with Orange County, where we work with fathers of all ages. It's a case management program where we work with different fathers. So those are some of our programs that we have, and we provide them, as I mentioned, throughout the city and county, but we also provide some of these programs throughout the state. We have fathers who contact us from throughout the state. So some of them are involved in, programs that we have.
Oh, okay. Well, with the conference, because how many events that you do a year? Now, I can, right offhand, I think of 3 in the sense of your conferences, but how many do you do a year?
We do 2 large events each year. The Fatherhood Conference, which is a national conference we do each year, the last 2 weekdays of the month of February. This year was the 21st and 22nd. We do it the same time every year so people don't have to ask, when is your next conference? We always tell them Black History Month, the last 2 weekdays. So that might change, but it's still the last 2 weekdays, Thursday and Fridays. And then we have our Father's Week in June,
Right,
which is a week of activities and programs, seminars and workshops, covering everything from mentoring, education, getting employment for those individuals who don't have college degrees, or some individuals who might have records, felony records, because it's very difficult for them to find jobs. And then we have education, we have child support, family law, entrepreneurship. So we have a week of activities. And this year we're going to have a Father's Day dinner on Father's Day. Last year it was the day before Father's Day, so we rotate each year. One day Father's Day, and the next day the day before Father's Day. Some people want.
Well, when I think of 3, when I say I can think of 3 because of what you do at Christmas time. So because I know every year around Christmas time you busy.
Yeah, those are the 2 main events. But then we have a recognition luncheon every September, where we recognize the people in the community. And then Christmas, we always do a family Christmas event where we give out toys, food. So yeah, those we do every year as well. So, but the 2 major ones are Father's Week and the conference, but then we do stuff throughout the year. And every Christmas we do activities. We do stuff all that month. But we do give toys. We have an event where we do toys and food for the kids, and it's usually for the children of the fathers we service, but they never come by themselves. So we might have a father with 2 kids, and he'll bring 6 kids, because the kids in the neighborhood they know you're gonna have toys and food, so they bring them along. So
yeah, because
we just do it.
I remember you was doing the show and you said, "Man, I got to leave, man, because if I don't show up on time with these toys, man."
Yeah. Or those kids will let you know. Those kids will look at their watch. When you come in the room, they look at their watch. Mr. Nkrumah, what you doing? So no, you got to be on time with those kids.
But
we don't. But we don't make it just about the toys.
No, of course not.
Because some kids, just like when I grew up, we didn't get a bunch of toys. We got a one toy and a clothing item, and the clothing item always was a pair of sneakers.
Right.
So we didn't get over. So we don't want to give these kids a whole bunch of toys. And you know how kids nowadays, they get toys and they'll open it, and then before they even look at it good, they're opening up the other one. They like throw it to the side and open up the other one, then throw it to the side and open up the other one. So we don't want it to get like that, where kids just disrespecting the whole, gift giving ideal. So
right.
That's
Well,
how that is.
um, again, I was there and at your conference this past week. So I want to ask you, how do you feel about the conference this past week? How do you feel about it?
Well, I'm always appreciative of the conference because it's a national teen and young fatherhood conference. So the focus on this conference is teen and young fathers, people who work with teen and young fathers. So that's always big for me because, as I always mention to people, the majority of the fatherhood initiatives in the country, they don't begin engaging fathers till a much older 20, the upper 20s, 26, 27. So they're leaving a lot of absent and dysfunctional fathers over the years. So our goal is to really tackle the issues that a lot of these young fathers have at a younger age when they're less equipped to deal with the particular issue. So I'm always grateful that people come from across the country. This year we had participants from as far as Portland, Oregon, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Missouri, Wisconsin, Michigan, New York, Washington, D.C. So they come from across the country, had someone from the Bahamas. So we're proud to provide and host this conference because, it's a needed conference. And that's the reason why we started it, because we don't want practitioners across the country thinking they're the only ones that's supporting an initiative that's servicing teen and young fathers. So, man, where did y'all get that picture? Good Lord. That's the one I was making a face and you actually took it. We're very pleased with the turnout. We always think there should be more, but we knew what we started with. We started with us in one state, Georgia. So this was our 7th conference. So it's the only teen and young father conference in the country. So we're very pleased of the outcome and the participation of the conference.
Well, the thing is, I'm always, and I don't mean surprised, because surprise is not the right word I'm looking for. I'm always humble about the attitudes of the people that's there, because you know that they care.
Absolutely.
And when you hear and even the questions that they ask, you know that there are people out there, despite what's in the news and despite what they think is popular, and because there are people like you and the people that come to these conferences, that they really do care about
Absolutely.
the community. They communicate with each other. They're anxious to hear from the others so they can take back something that they feel that they can help themselves to better the programs. And you can tell, Haki, that it's not fake, man. These people really do care about these kids, man. Or not necessarily kids, but they do care about the program. They do care about the problems that we sit here and that we face, and trying to tackle many of the issues. So it's a great place to be, man. Like you said, I just know that you're just going to grow, because the spirit within the conference itself is just so positive.
Yeah, I mean, people doing this work, no one's getting paid a lot of money. A lot of these people are educators. They're coming out of the school systems, the social work system, counseling system. So these people are not making a whole bunch of money, and they're working with a difficult population. And when I mentioned earlier the percentage of those fatherhood organizations that work with older fathers, they don't work with the younger guys because they consider the younger guys a headache, because they're 15, 16, 17-year-old guys. It's more difficult working with them than it is older fathers, because older fathers is a little more, they're a little more invested. They they have jobs, and they're concerned that their job, their paycheck would be garnished if they're back in child support. Their professional license can be taken away. Most young fathers are not carpenters or plumbers or electricians. A lot of the guys during this time of year, they have their income tax check held back for lack of paying child support. Most young fathers don't have those issues, so they're less likely to feel invested. And it's not easy for them to show up to meetings. They might not have a car, might not be able to get a ride. So that's why we have to struggle with them. Out of all those guys that's in the program, some of them they have cars, so we gotta encourage them to carpool. And so it's just always difficult for younger fathers to get involved, and these practitioners have to work with them. So for them to say, okay, I'm going to work with the toughest parent to work with, the parent that's most isolated and ignored, the young parent. And
Right.
usually it's the young parent who's poor, whether they're white, black, Hispanic. A lot of them are just ignored in our society. We want to act like they don't exist, but they're there.
Well,
When we talk about the teen parent, that's why when you look at teen parent programs, you never see fathers in them. You're just going to see mothers in them. They want to act like they don't even exist.
well,
So these people that come, they have good hearts and
right.
professional, and they care about what they're doing.
Right, and what I want to say is that what you're about is getting down, as our term say, getting down to the nitty gritty of the heart and the true issues, because you have to fight through so much ignorance and racism and labeling and all this stuff that is part of our culture and our society. But you try to get people to see beyond their issues and how they're quick to not be able to identify with something in which they're not associated with, to understand that people are people and circumstances set up other things. But if you can change a lot of things if you just extend your hand, because that's the way God made us, and you extend yourself, and it's a collaboration of everybody extending themselves and joining hands and trying to make a difference. And one of the things that you do notice at an event like yours, and for people who come there, automatically the majority of the people, because we do, there was this little joke that you and I were, well, not you and I, but we were teasing about. For some of the people that may come from somewhere where it's cold, they may come to this conference because it's in Orlando. You know what I'm talking about. But,
Yeah, of course.
But
We
the
have people from some
majority of
cold
the
places,
people,
man.
despite where they come
Michigan.
from, come here to take something back other than a tan.
Yeah, yeah. No, but I mean, just look at people like Shane. Shane, he came all the way from Portland, Oregon, man, and he uses most of his own money to come.
Oh, wow.
Brian, yeah, and he works with Teen Fathers. He has a Teen Father program all the way from Portland, Oregon. Then we have Brian Hines come from South Carolina. He used his own money because his job didn't have the agency he works with didn't have the money for conferences. So he just asked him if he can get the time. They said absolutely, and so he used his own money.
Okay.
Garfield, he came from New York via DC because he works both places. He used his own money.
Wow.
Hotel. These people register. They get their hotels. Some of them get rental cars. So they're spending their money not just on the flight, but the hotels and the registration and whatever else expenses they have. So when you get people like that who use their own money, some of them, it's just amazing. It's just amazing to me. They come all the way from Portland to use your own money. You have to really want to be here.
Okay. Well,
You know, you
I
have
want
to really want to be here.
I want to share this with you real quick. Here.
Hi, everybody. Daryl Davidson, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And I think that this is a fantastic conference. One of the reasons why I came is because many of the father-serving providers do not have connections in their hometowns. And this is an opportunity to meet people who not only share information about their experiences, but also have a lot of resources. They can connect individuals who know about fathers and father-serving agencies with other people around the country. So it's not just about being isolated. There's help, there's support, and you also have colleagues that you'll be able to know for the rest of your lives. This is a great conference. I really enjoy being here.
I'm Juanita Armbruster, and I am from Miami, Florida. I am the site coordinator for the FSU Young Parents Project. We work with pregnant and parenting youth who are court involved. We are a home visiting program, and our goal is to help them. We want to reduce recidivism and also to help them have healthy, happy babies and form a positive relationship with those babies. So I came to this conference because we recognize that working with moms and babies, there's another faction in this, and that's the father. And so we want to try and see how we can better engage the fathers in our work and in the lives of their children. The conference has been great. We've gotten excellent information, and so we intend to network with the people we've met and bring this information back home.
My name is Kimberly Marshall. I'm from Miami, Florida. I work for the Young Parents Project. I am a registered nurse doing home visits with young teen moms. And this conference has been fantastic. It has helped me to see things more through the lenses of a teen father instead of a teen mom, since that's what I'm so accustomed to. It's given me a lot of answers and a lot of insight on how to be able to better engage young dads and how to be able to help them feel more comfortable in the visit, make them feel like they're not just a me too and an added on person in the visit, but that the visit is solely really focused for them and that we're there for them and not only the moms.
She said something that was very powerful, Haki, and I heard her asking a couple of questions in one of the other in the other workshop in the room to the side, and I can tell because, like she said, she's used to working with the teen moms, the mothers, and she was very engaged in listening. And I can't think of the brother, and I wanted to say, man, and I can't think of the brother from Jacksonville.
Devin Coleman.
He was powerful. He was very powerful, and he impacted her, and not only her, but some of the information and the questions that they asked. Because it's funny because they're asked a question, and it's funny because they always ask this question, and then the question is always, well, do you think that we should engage some of the young men with us to deal with the teen fathers? And you look at them like, really? And I don't mean it the way that it sounds. And the answer is always the same, because us as male, just like the female on certain situations can relate and will be able to open up to other females. The same as when you're dealing with these young men, it's always good to have the encounter with the males as well, because you can only take it so far, but there's another level in which the male can take it. And that's just the way God made it. So when they always ask that question, and I don't mean it the way that it sounds, because you would think just naturally, because if I think that I'm dealing with some teen girls, I just know I'm gonna have to hook up with some female somehow, some way, if I want to go to another level, or if there's certain things that I want to cover. But the brother from Jacksonville, man, he was so real in the sense of what was cool about him was that he looked inward to see himself and his own faults, to where it was so powerful that he turned himself around to look at life totally different because someone impacted him and that he didn't want to let down. So he took on responsibility. So that within itself, was like, oh, okay, now you're understanding that you're responsible for yourself and your actions and how you got here, but how are you going to pick yourself up? Because he was talking about sleeping in his car. He was talking about not having money. He was talking about how he had to come out of, I guess, the prison system or the jail system, or he had been arrested. He was talking about all those things and how he had to change from inside and to understand it was his actions. So he was very powerful. I got a lot from him. So I don't know where you found him. I don't know where you found him. But he had an impact. I can tell you, I don't know if you was in and out of his workshop, but I can tell you those people in his workshop, they walked out of there going, wow.
Yeah,
okay.
No,
and,
I saw
and the impact that he had on on Miss Kimberly right there. Oh yeah. Yeah. Because I was in there and I was just watching, and the questions that she asked, not only her, but a few of the others. So it was very powerful.
I talk now.
Huh?
I said, can I talk now?
But I mean,
He was impactful for you, I see.
yeah. Oh yeah.
No, I wasn't in his workshop for long, but I know him, so it's like I knew he was the right person for it. So, when I select people for the conference, there's only so many slots, and so I try to make sure that I think that they're going to be helpful and they're going to be able to express themselves and give of themselves, and it sounds like that's what he did in that workshop. I've seen him in action. He's a young fellow that I don't know if you remember in the beginning of the conference. I asked him if you have a Facebook page. Some people do Facebook, some people don't.
Right.
But if they did do Facebook, that they should look his page up, because he has some very powerful interviews with other men in the community, and is very, very positive. But it's enlightening. So that's when I mentioned that if you do Facebook, that you should really try to friend him and look at some of his posts.
Right. It's interesting because the different people, like David Washington. I don't know if you remember David Washington. My instructor. And
No.
David Washington, because he had, you would know him if you would have seen him. People like him and Vince Carter Sr. and the gentleman from Jacksonville, whatever that gift that God gave them, that they can go deep into places that some people don't want to, just by them engaging and knowing how to engage, and some of the people that we think are just lost and that they can't be helped, because Vince Carter Sr. has that gift. Dave Washington has that gift, and that the impact and the fact that they can get their attention, they're not intimidated, and they better understand, and they're not trying to judge and label. They just there to have a discussion and talk and try to get feedback. And that's a gift that, a lot of us don't have, Haki, because to engage and to be able to go and just talk with some of these guys that you just look at and go like, man, I don't know if I want to talk to that brother right there. But they have that gift, man. You know?
Yeah, a lot of people don't. A lot of people can't, dig deep down and express it. A lot of people can't do that. So, few people that can, it's been beneficial. Those people that can do that, they're impactful. So that's all Devin is. All the presenters are those type of people. Did you see Robert? Did you get a chance to check out Robert Johnson?
No.
Did you get a chance to see Robert Johnson?
All right. Let me ask you a question. The preparation, for you. The preparation for you.
Chuck, did you see Robert Johnson?
No.
The presenter.
Robert
you
Johnson.
Didn't see him? That was the tall.
No. I taped him. But
okay,
yeah.
you take.
Yeah.
All right. I was just saying he's similar to Devin. He's one of those people,
right, that
can dig deep down and express their feelings. But go ahead. What would you say?
No, I did videotaping, so I am going to watch the video of him, and I'm going to share that with you. But I'm pretty sure that you've seen his presentation on numerous occasions. But I do want to share this with you as well.
My name's Shane Sowards. I'm from Portland, Oregon. I think this conference is amazing. What I really enjoy most about it is that usually when I go to a conference, it's all about just fathers, and we're focusing on young fathers, and that's what I do back home is I focus on young fathers. So it's just great to be in a space where other people are being intentional about young fathers.
My name is Maribeth Gonzalez, and I am an attorney here in Central Florida, and I'm happy and excited to be part of the Young Fathers' Rights Conference, here to educate and empower our young fathers and also the people that work alongside them every day and give knowledgeable information so they can share. So because there is a lot of misconceptions out in the community, so I'm super happy and proud to be part of this exciting program.
Hi, my name is Ruth Correa. I'm from Melbourne, Florida, the Space Coast. This is my second time attending the conference. I would recommend this to anybody that works with youth. Our program is arrest and dropout prevention, and if you are looking for resources and how to make sure that you keep dads involved in your program, this is the conference to come to. Every year, they have new guest speakers and new resources. And the most important part for me is the ability to be able to network and connect with other people and link our resources together, because we think that we are the only ones doing this, and we don't have the resources to tap into. But coming to this conference is what gave us the opportunity to be able to link with other people and get better at what we do.
Venice White, Florida Department of Health in Seminole County. This is, I believe, my fourth attendance of the Young Fathers Conference, so I'm kind of goldish almost, making it 2 days in a row every year. I attend this conference because it's important in public health that we talk about parenting, which includes both mother and father. We write grants and we have lots of programs that target mothers and sometimes even grandparents, but the missing piece is a healthy father relationship with the children. So it's important for me also to network and to see positive males in the positive light and living a positive life as well. So pun on the words. I have 3 sons, 19, 17, and 15, and changing my mindset and expectations of men. I leave this conference empowered and inspired just being in the room with these positive men and hearing about the programs that support, not target, but support and prioritize the parenting needs and involvement of fathers. So I look forward to coming again next year, one county over in Seminole County. We're always here to support Haki and his team, and you're doing excellent work. Thank you.
All right, man. All right. There you go. The people
Yeah,
telling the truth. Now, she's another one that was impacted by the brother from Jacksonville as well.
Yeah,
with-
Denise.
especially when she talks about her three sons. She shared some things as well. I had some pretty good conversation with her. So she said she would come on the show with us though, which is really great. So I'm looking forward to that.
She will, and it's very it's encouraging that Seminole County Health Department supports every year. They sponsor maybe 5 or 6 people a year, and they're not even in Orange County; they're in Seminole County. So,
and I was trying to remember the tall lady because she's very excited from the help.
Donna Walsh.
Yeah,
Donna
man,
Walsh.
I can
Donna
tell
Walsh
she loves you, man.
She's the director. She oversees all of them. That's what I said. She sends them out every year, and they're in another county. They're in Seminole County. They're not in Orange County. Orange County didn't send one person, and they're right here. I mean, I hate to say it, but it's a fact. Orange County has not sent one person, and Seminole County sends at least 5 people every year. So they're big supporters. Because we've done a lot of work together, Don and I. So it's very, I mean, it means a lot to me that they feel that strong about what it is that we do. And I support them as well whenever they need me to come speak over there at their health fairs, their health events, so we work together. So I don't care if Orange County doesn't, if they don't participate, that's on them. It's their loss. But we do a lot of work, and Venice and Donna, they're very passionate about what they do, and they're interested in working with both mother and father, not just one parent. So, and they're interested in working with the younger ones because, as I mentioned numerous times, when we speak of infant mortality rate, children not living, past a year or 18 months from newborn 18 months. And a large percentage of those deaths, the parents are under the age of 24. They see that as a health issue. They see that as something that's negative in our community. So they see the need to working with younger fathers and not just 45-year-old fathers or 50-year-old fathers, but young fathers. So that's why they mean a lot to me. So you say she loved me, I love her too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can tell when she speaks that her truth is that she believes in what you're doing. That goes without saying,
She always laugh because she asks me what's too late. I tell her, well, my day ends at 10 o'clock, so you can call me up to 10 p.m. And there's a couple of times she called at like 11 o'clock, 11:30. She said she was going to leave a message, and I picked up. She said, I thought you said 10. I said, well, I saw you was calling, so I know it was important. When you're dealing with this someone that's the head of a health department, when they call, you pick up the phone. I don't care what time it is, because normally what they calling about has something to do with life or death.
Right.
So,
definitely.
I mean, now if DJ Spoonie T called me, he might not get it. I might not pick up for him.
Right. But
if the head of the health department called, that's something else. You got to pick that one up.
So walk me through, Haki, and I kind of know, but don't know what it takes in order for you to prepare for your conference. But once it's over, what is happening with the people who have come and gone now that they've made the connections? What is it like right after the conference with the people and them contacting you and them trying to contact each other? What's usually the feedback? What's usually is taking place when the conference is over?
usually excitement. You know, people are usually more excited when the conference is over because they still feeling it. And what I get a lot of, which I love, is when they do the things like you just did. Like you said, what's the tall lady? Like I knew just what you was talking about when you
Right.
said, what's the tall? You didn't say the tall white lady, but you know,
Right.
well, you didn't have to say that. You just said the tall lady, and I knew you. Because Donna taller than everybody in the place. I don't know how
Right.
tall she is, but they do a lot of that. They'll call and say, Haki, you remember the guy that the black suit and I think he was from Jacksonville, or I think he
Right.
was from Raleigh. That's what they do a lot. People call and they try to make connections with people that they didn't actually have a chance. They might not have had a chance to contact at the time of the conference. You know, so because when you have 60 people in a conference, you know, you might not get the opportunity to speak to all of them. But that's why we do the speed networking. So they can get a chance to kind of meet someone for at least 3 to 5 minutes. Because as we mentioned before, a lot of people.
Well, hold on. I want you to explain the speed networking and explain is it called the gold member?
Gold
What
members.
is it?
Gold members.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Explain the speed networking and the gold member, which is kind of cute because they say, you know, I'm trying to get to my gold card, or you know.
Right. The gold member means that you have to attend 2 conferences or 3 conferences in a row, and you have to stay for the whole 2 days. So you know how when you go to conferences, if it's 2 days, people leave early, they don't want
Right.
to stay, but you have to come 3 years in a row and stay for the whole 2 days from beginning to end. And then you reach a gold level, then you will never have to pay for another conference again.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I wanted it that way because those people, you stay the whole 2 days. That means you're committed to listening to every speaker and the many workshops as possible. So you're not coming because if we're honest about it, there's people like we mentioned earlier. They might be from Buffalo and they'll come to the conference just to get out of the cold. You know, so we want to make sure they're coming to the conference for a positive reason. But yeah, gold member, once you reach gold, and you know, and we have like 4 of them now. So Venice, the woman that mentioned it, she's close. I think she's. I'm gonna look at the record, but I think she's gold. I think she'll be gold next year.
Okay.
That's the gold membership, and then speed. And then people said, that's crazy, Haki. How you do that? I said, we're not in this for the money. We're in this for them to come. And if that doesn't show that, then I don't know what can. We're telling them, if you commit yourself to this conference for 3 years, like there's some people, this was our 7th conference. So there's some people that have been to every conference. Those are the gold members. They've been to more than 3. But some of them might only stay for a day, or like one of our guys, he's been coming like 4 or 5 years, but he only comes for 1 day. He said, man, I gotta be gold by now. I said, no, you didn't stay for 2 days straight. So, and then the speed networking is just like speed dating, where you get the opportunity to speak with at least 5 people for 3 minutes. So you speak, they speak. You speak for 3 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes. They speak 3 to 5 minutes. And you get to do that 5 times. So the reason I started that was because I would go to conferences across the country, and they would be conferences where there's 100 people. And if you're an introverted person, because we are not extroverted people, if you're an introverted person, I've seen people sit at a table for 2 to 3 days and not speak to more than anybody at that table. Anyone at the conference, they didn't speak to, but some people who were at their tables. So I said that I wanted my conference different, where you're going to speak to people, whether you're introverted or extroverted. So this put them in a situation where they speak to 5 people within an hour. So that's what speed networking is about.
Yeah,
And I
and that
love it
and
because
right, and then
people
one of the
always
other
talking
things,
and talking.
yeah, one of the other things that you do, which is great, is that everyone has to stand up and introduce themselves, and so and then tell a little about themselves.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, we call that roll call. Yeah, roll call where everyone has to stand and say who they are and what they expect from the conference, or why they're there. So that way, if you have a conference and there's 50 people, every one of those 50 people will stand up. So if, for example, if I'm there and I don't know you, and you stand up and tell us where you from, I might say, oh, wow, like you might be from Raleigh. Oh, I know someone in Raleigh, or I work with people in Raleigh. Then you say what you do. Then I'll know from roll call, I'll identify people who I really want to talk to. They might do something that's similar to what I do. But if you don't do roll call, you never know. Like, I'm looking at you. I don't know where you from, really. I don't know what it is that you do if it's similar to what I do. So that's why I never understood conferences that don't do that. So I knew when I started my conference, I would make sure that everyone will stand up, introduce themselves, and tell us what they do, where they're from, and what they do.
now you had two of the fathers come in and speak, which is always very powerful.
And the third one came after it was over. But he was one helping us clean up.
Okay.
Jean Baptiste. So he was the third. Like I said, you can invite fathers, but you can't guarantee they're going to be there, because they're young guys. Like one guy, Terrell, he had car trouble.
Right.
The other guy, his supervisor, they had emergency at the job and wouldn't let him leave. So, and then Gene, he couldn't got to get out of his job. He was only able to get out when it was almost over. But
Right.
people kept asking, who's that guy cleaning? I said, that's one of our young fathers. He just came late.
Right. No.
So it was 3. I wanted to make sure Gene got his props because he definitely made it. Even though it was late, he came, and I didn't even ask him to clean. He started helping and cleaning, and that's just his character.
So, what's next for you? Let me see. The Father's Day. The Father's Day.
Father's Week.
Yeah.
Father's Week. That's the week. That's the Father's Week where we do events all week leading up to Father's Day. And I tell people every year, they say, when is Father's Week? It's the week leading up to Father's Day. So that's our next event. That's our second largest event that we prepare for. A week of activities.
Now, the workshop, the other workshop, which is what was the motivation of you coming on the 4th Monday of every month, and that's dealing with child custody.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, this year for Father's Week, normally we have 1 day for child support, but this year we're actually going to have 2 days. We're going to have a child support day where we're going to have child support come, and then we're going to have a family law day where attorneys are going to come and we're going to speak about all types of family law issues, visitation, custody, and all that. So we're going to have 2 separate days that deal with child support and family law. Instead of trying to do it all in 1 day, we're going to have 1 entire day dedicated to child support issues. What happened if I don't pay child support? How is child support calculated? All of it. And then the other day would deal with visitation rights and paternity tests and all that type of stuff. So we're going to have 2 separate days this year. Normally, like I said, we usually do it 1 day.
I heard some very powerful stuff. and this may be a stupid question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. It always seems, and I'm pretty sure you've heard so many stories, but when you hear the stories, I get that we're naive. I get sometimes that you get frustrated with the system. But why is it that it appears that so much seems to be against the father? Or like this, however it goes, it's not a balanced thing. It doesn't even appear to be close to a balanced thing when it comes to the father and his rights, or him understanding his rights, I should say, Haki. Because I think I've shared this with you before. I don't know if but I think I did, that I've actually have dated two girls that was divorced, and both of them told me that during the divorce that their ex-husband, they were fine, and that they just wanted to go their separate ways. And both of them told me, they said the court system was actually kind of upset, or just trying to egg them on to just have a different type of attitude towards this separation. Like, are you sure you don't want anything? No, we cool. We have worked this out. And I've heard both of them say this. I don't know whether or not it's the lawyer, whether or not, as a matter of fact, one of them they just went down to the court and they just did it through the court system and blah, blah, blah. And she said they was just trying to get me to take stuff from my ex, and we were happy to just separate. I mean, we didn't have any kids, so they just went their own separate ways. But why is it that it appears to be that way in this system?
Well, you said a lot, Chuck.
Well, I'm just saying, why does it seem to be so unfair towards the father or the husband?
Well, because in most cases, if there's a split, the child will go with the mother. The mother will raise the child. In most splits you have, no matter what type of split it is, divorce or separations or whatever, the mom is usually the one that is the caregiver. Mm-hmm. So if that's the case, that's just the way it is. There's very few cases where if there's a split, the child, especially if it's a young child, and when we deal with younger fathers, most of them dealing with younger children, babies or younger children. So if that's the case, then the only thing else is to be decided is how that father is going to take care of the child, how he's going to participate in parenting. And then there's different parts of that participation. There's the legal law part, which is the money part. And then there's the moral part, the part of, how much love is this man going to give his child? How much time is he going to give his child? So in a split, since the mother and they're and most often will be the primary caregiver, is just how much the father is going to be involved. And depending on how the split is, if it's a negative one, then there's a lot of questions that will come up after that. The only thing after a split that's going to be clear is how much child support going to be, because that's calculated. That's pretty clear. He's going to pay $50 a month, $100 a month, $200 a month, $1,000 a month, whatever. The thing that's not written in stone is how much time and love and care the father will give to the child, and how much love, time, and care the mother will allow or encourage. Because some mothers encourage the father to spend as much time as possible. Other mothers, depending on the split, they don't want them to spend much time at all. And too many mothers do a big disservice by saying, well, I don't need his money. I don't want his money. I got my own money. Well, that's a disservice to your child. Right. Because unless he's being abusive, and plus, no matter what his situation is, he can be abusive or not. You don't have to see him. I tell mothers that all the time. You don't have to see him at all, but he still got to pay child support whether you want it or not, because the child support money not going to you for you. It's for the child. Right. So don't tell me I don't want to see him. So I don't need his money. Well, no one said you need his money. but he has a responsibility as a father to support, whether you like him or not.
Right.
And you don't have to deal with him. I tell him I can set it up where you ain't got to see the I don't know what they call it, the black of his eyes, whatever. You ain't got to see him, but that don't get him off the hook. And I hear fathers tell me, "Oh, Miss Haki, why you tell her, you know, she should do this or she should do that?" I said, "Boy, because that's that child right. You supposed to take care of the child financially. Period."
Right.
And you should, unless you're abusive father, you should be able to see the child. Period. Whether she likes you or not. So too many women do disservice by not letting their child's father see their child, or make him pay the money that he's supposed to pay to help support the child.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I don't want you to be a mother talk about you don't need him, but you give the child potato chips and cookies for snacks all the time instead of some fruit because I can't afford that. You know, you can get a bag of 1,000 cookies for $2. So that's what you're gonna do instead of go getting some apples and oranges and stuff like that. So that's what I tell a lot of mothers, that they don't have the right to sit and talk about, I don't need his money. You don't need to need his money. No one's saying you need his money. It ain't about you. It's about your child. And when the father don't like what I tell them, I'm going to put him on child support. I don't care about that neither.
You know what's funny? As I was asking you that question, it just popped in my mind from years ago. We're talking years ago, Haki. My sister got a divorce. We're talking years ago. And I remember her having to pay child support, you know? And I think because she was married she got married in Florida, but for over 20 years, she lived in a place called Danville, Virginia. And I think that's where she got her divorce, somewhere up in there. But then when she came back to Florida, to Jacksonville, the children was with her, but she was paying child support. Now, I'm going to have to feed her some rum cake and ask her about that, you know, one day. So, you know, but I can remember her talking about paying child support. And that was
it happens all the time. If you have two people that's together and they split and one files for child support, a court order is made, and for some reason the child ends up living back with them, it's still in the system. It's still until they go back to court, they gotta pay. They gotta continually to pay. We have a lot of fathers that pay child support for a couple years, but the child end up leaving with them, and they still paying child support, and the child living with them.
Right.
You know that happens. So it's up to that parent to go back to court and do a modification.
Well, the class was extremely powerful, and I can never remember her name, the attorney.
The class? Who?
The attorney.
Oh, Maribeth Gonzalez?
Yes. Yeah, I can remember her last name, but I can never remember her first name. Very, very powerful, because she brought up some serious points. And when she was discussing some of the things that she was discussing, it was kind of like, oh, because she broke it down on the long term. Because, you know, we don't think in the long term.
Right.
we don't like,
she
right,
makes it simple.
you know, like now. We don't think like, okay, well, this kid is 3. We don't think about when the kid is turning 16, 17, 18. We're not there yet. Right. We're thinking about now. And so she kind of broke that down in the long term, how you need to take care of this on this end first. So 16 years from now, but also what you just said, because things change. And then if you don't go back and do what you need to do, then that's not good for you as well. So that is what this is supposed to be about, in educating, you know, our viewers, our listeners on just that alone. And I'm excited that she said that she want to come on the show with you and us, because I know based on what she was saying, she got a lot of good information that she can share.
Oh yeah, and Marivette makes it simple. She's an attorney that's not trying to confuse you. So she trying to help you understand clearly, and that's what I like the way she approaches it. She's not trying to confuse you. She's not in the court trying to get you to understand and confuse you. She's trying to help you to understand. And there's one thing that people always need to know when they're raising children and they're not together, is that things doesn't stay the same. Things change. And whether it's income, so if when you first split, you got a child support order and you were making $20,000 a year, and it's 4 years later and you making $50,000 a year, you can't expect to pay the same child support.
Right.
Period. Or if when you started paying child support, you got your order, you was making $50,000 a year, but then a few years later, you making $20,000 a year. You're not going to pay the same child support. So people have to realize things change. And I know people don't like court, but they don't like the legal system, but you need to do modifications for whatever reason. That's why they have modifications.
Right.
So I tell people that all the time. I had a guy a couple weeks ago. He was barely making minimum wage when he did his child support order. Now he's making $60,000, and he ain't say nothing. He let it ride, and the mother was letting him let it ride because she didn't know. So I tell the fathers, you can't do that, bro. You need to, if you're making more money like that, your daughter need to get more, your child need to get more.
Right.
Just like I tell them when they lose a job, they shouldn't have to pay the same as when they had the job.
Right.
Because the court will give you time. They'll give you time to get a job, you lose it.
Okay. Well, I want to say, man, you had a great conference. It was well attended. The people was happy. The food is always good. For real, for real.
Man,
the
those
food is always good.
There was no leftovers. Normally there's leftovers for this. Someone said, I was wondering, like the sandwiches, for example, we would usually get like four of the things, ringleaders. But then we got like 5 or 6 or something this time, because I was like, I'm gonna make sure that there's leftovers and so forth, because we usually get it leftover to the kids and stuff.
Right.
But man, someone said the reason why this year, because we had a lot more men than normal. That's why. And I realized that we had many more men, because normally we have about 50-50 men and women. But now this year, and they said, man, everything was gone. Wasn't a bag of chips left. Nothing.
But and what was funny, see, it's funny that you mentioned that, Haki, because you was not in the room, but one of the ladies called that out when she was talking. She said, isn't it so nice to be at a conference where the men outnumber the women? And she was like, this is so cool.
Yep. That just what happened this year. There was more men this year. And that was a beautiful thing. And people are always surprised when they see so many different races and ages and younger people, older people, black, white, Hispanic. They always, and Pa got a lot of people asking, where are you from? Pa Bang? She came from Wisconsin.
Right. Well,
so it was a beautiful thing just to see all the different, races, ages, sex, everything, gender. It was a beautiful thing to watch.
Okay. Well, with that being said, it was well attended. It was great. Looking forward to next year. Looking forward to the one during Father's Day week. And man, I can tell you're tired. I want to thank you for getting up and your son waking you up. Tell him I said thank you. But you go and you get you some rest because I know you're tired, bro. So
Okay,
go
man.
get you some rest. Want to thank you so very much, man.
Appreciate it, bro.
You're making a difference.
Thank you, bro.
All right. All
All right,
right.
peace.
God put something special in that brother, and I really appreciate him for all that he does. And oh man, the conference was really good. They were from somewhere everywhere, and it was full every day. All the workshops was well attended. So if you would like to find out more, please do look up Young Fathers of Central Florida. And as you know, this is the Journey 2020, where we come to you every Monday at 7 p.m. Had some little glitches there in the beginning. I'm going to have to find out what's going on with this upgrade on this software, man, because this is like the third time this thing has crossed me. So that is not good. But anyway, we're here every Monday at 7 p.m. at www.thejourney2020.com. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. So please like us on Facebook. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube as well. And also remember, I'm with the original Coach Carter. The original Coach Carter. We know the other Coach Carter as well, and they know each other very well. So that's another story within itself. But Youth Central Sports comes your way at 11 p.m. every Wednesday with the original Coach Carter, Coach Vince Carter Sr., and we have a lot of fun. As we say, sports is more than just a game. So check out Youth Central Sports at www.youthcentralsports.com every Wednesday at 11 p.m. That's youthcentralsports.com. Thank you for taking the time to hang out with us. Please enjoy the rest of your week, and you be blessed.